Cool. I'm gonna pull you all into the area. We'll do a quick recap and then decide where we're gonna go and get into it. So, um, thanks everybody who wasn't here last week for rejoining after the hiatus. Appreciate it. Um, Last time, not much really happened in the actual session. We had some conversations about the current state of things. Um, and a little bit of info gained from scouts and such around the area. Um, Speedy recap of everything is latest events to happen were kicking in the circle supposedly used by uh, Princess Nasharala and Prince Zoramus over at their base, so that they can no longer teleport to uh, this region of the Redshift zone. Um, which now, if all has gone well, has made this region much safer for the Commission to explore, and uh, regular members of the Commission, scouts and laborers, will be able to make their way up and start actually making some progress again here. Um, Now, on the other hand, this whole encounter with the princelings has caused some um, worries, particularly when it comes to the um, evidence that this Dragon King may have may be or may have a powerful wizard in his employ, responsible for these teleport circles and all of the other wizardly stuff around. In particular, the chance that there could be scrying happening, which is obviously very dangerous for the commission when dealing with a dragon and the dragon's minions. Um, but was not originally considered when doing something like moving into Prince Morio's house. Um, so over the past couple of weeks, by order of Dex, uh, the there's no way to really tell aside from powerful divination magic, right? That you're being scryed, and even then, um, you'd have to get lucky enough that they were scrying on you or a location you were near at the time that you cast your magic, and you both had to be casting it at the same time, and all that wizard shit. Um, so just to be safe, um, even if it is already too late, better late than never. The group at Moria's Keep Ignis, have been instructed to abandon that location, retrieve the obelisk, so that it can't be taken or studied, basically, and instead move operations in that region over to Grandmother's Grove, um, which has also allowed Grandmother to finally be synced up to the obelisk network. So Grandmother, Gaivin, the sleeping temple, who's also had some repairs done in the meantime, and Arisa, the halfling ghost who lives inside the obelisk network nowadays, um, have all been having a grand time chatting with each other. Seems like they might have known each other back in the day. So, uh, besides that, um, a couple of things have come up on the world map. Actually, I'll pop you guys over there now. Don't look in case it doesn't load properly. Um, so if you zoom all the way out to about 20%, you'll notice that right now you guys are right about here. and obviously there are a couple places you've been. Last time we went up to this old ruin up here in the mountains. Before that, we went to the ruined city of Chose, which is bisected by a glass wall that cuts through the valley, um, basically acting as a uh, you wouldn't quite say natural barricade against the desert on the other side. Um, but while you were gone, a couple of things have happened. Um, Captain Van's team coming at this from the northwest have established another obelisk pretty nearby, and they're expecting in the next week or two to be able to put a supply line forward, um, and link up with the rest of the commission over here. So they have a bunch of people over there now that have cleared and claimed that area for themselves. Um, the other thing that's come up is that Expeditionist Rhode Isle, the one and only thus far captain of one of the commission's small keelboats, um, that runs around the bay, has scouted all the way, almost all the way across the coastline of the bay to the south. And what he and his crew discovered on the way down was a active volcano. Uh,
Is that the
toward
black gray spot on the map?
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
So knowing obviously everybody is on high alert for dragon related business, right? That's kind of been the big, even before being on high alert for, shifted monsters and all that stuff. Um Watching out for draconic and fiery creatures has been kind of a big deal, especially because uh, Magnius the salamander did mention that they layered in a volcano. So the report that you got from Rodile was that he basically turned the hell around and came home as soon as he saw it. Didn't think he saw anybody or anything. Certainly didn't see a dragon. Um, but he wasn't going to take any risks and hardly got close enough, he thinks, to be spotted on the sea. Although it wouldn't be hard to spot a boat on an empty sea from the shore if he wanted to. But it doesn't seem like anybody's followed them home or anything. So this is information that you have, that there seems to be a volcano in that region, and potentially a problem, or maybe not. We don't know, and there is some reluctance to send people over there immediately, because it could be very dangerous. Um, you could be kicking a beehive over there. Uh, Now, last time there was that's about it for updates, I think. Last time there was some discussion among the party of what to do next. Mutlar and Nimbus, you guys were here.
Yeah, we had talked about going around the lake nearby so we can kind of get a heads up on what we may expect in that area. See if there's anything on for taking.
Yeah, we had likewise talked about getting up to that lake or swamp or whatever the hell it is up there, and then potentially, if we find anything interesting, potentially like investigating the ruins we find there, or even hooking up west with keep what the hell Centum, is that what that's called?
Called Kent.
Yeah, exactly. Likewise, we discussed potentially trying to find Vrabast on the or Vragast, I mean, on the north end of the mountain range.
Yep, that was raised. Yeah, traveling north. The big want from the commission at this point is, this and I made this clear last time to the rest of the group. Uh, this mountain range that crosses Vesoth, and you can even see it on the map of Vesoth that you obtained a while back. Um, it does kind of stretch across the country top to bottom, and with that glass walling off the valley, um, it's become sort of a logistics problem of yeah, maybe you guys could or a couple of scouts could find some paths that would let them traverse those mountains and get to the other side. um but we need to set up supply lines. We need to find a way that we can um pull uh people and materials, especially um from across land, over those mountains, or under those mountains, or between those mountains, um, somewhere, to get to the other side, to get to Vess, um, which is where the tower is. Um, Now, it's possible that going north might give you a route around the mountains. That's certainly a potential route as well. That remains to be investigated. But these are the big desires and next steps that are on the table.
Yeah, I mean, and even if we do, find a pass or a road, like if like what I'm kind of secretly hoping is that when we find Vrabas, we also find a road through the mountains at the same time. Uh, but even if we do, I mean, that's a hell of a hook to have to take around. If we need to deal with anything like at oh, whatever that town, the city in the middle is called, Alsanes. Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
Which, if you'll recall, our friends from the past urge us to find. So I kind of have an interest in that as well. So, like, basically, what I'm getting at is our situation's kind of shitty until we can find an easy way across these mountains, no matter what we do.
I think it was that they urged us to go to Vest, but they were planning to go to Alcine.
Oh yeah, I think you're right. Actually, good point.
Well, it's interesting that of all of the possibilities where some other force might have blocked things off unnaturally versus the natural blockage of the mountains, it's just the one spot with this massive wall of glass. It suggests, with that placement of the wall right there, that there actually is no other way, that the mountains very effectively block all passage from west to east, um, unless we can find a cave or a something that goes underneath, or the northern passage or a southern passage. It's just very effective, and the one opportunity that there was through that valley, which is no longer available.
Right.
That makes it, looking at the whole map, that makes it a very interesting picture.
Yeah, we talked a little bit about potentially trying to find some like subterranean route as well, and we also even though it's logistically a lot more intense and would require a lot more effort, we also talked about hooking ships around the mountains to come around from the sort of like southeast if we had to, But of course, at this point, now that we know where that volcano is, that means dealing with the dragon first if we're right about where they live.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. As far as you know, there is in fact ocean in that direction. Everything points toward that being still true. It has not changed all that much in the past 1,000 years. It
Yeah.
is indeed just a matter of um, building out your obelisk checkpoint system to go that direction.
Yeah, and arguably our single keelboat fleet really isn't up to the task either.
Soon to be two, perhaps, but it's kind of a
Right.
gotta make do with what you can.
Nimbus, can you shapeshift Earth? I can, but it's very limited.
Move Earth?
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually with the scaling cantrips, it gets really powerful.
What's the limitation? I mean,
Uh,
is it a square footage area or, X number of meters or?
Let me bring it up real fast. Character sheet up. Alright. This is the Mold Earth cantrip.
So 5 feet at a time. I have one that's also 5 feet.
Yeah, you can easily, basically freely manipulate loose earth and otherwise create temporary patterns and whatnot in like stone.
Well, Nimbus's is a cantrip. Mine is a 4th level spell slot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
stone shape would be the equivalent of that for actually going at
Right.
like hard stone.
That wouldn't work on glass, would it?
Well,
It might. Wouldn't. No way to know without. I mean, I only have one 4th level spell slot, so it'd be a one-shot wonder.
yeah, honestly, this is information I think is relatively free. Glass is sort of stone. Um, so as long as like if you wanted to use stone shape on a window, sure,
Right, as long as it's not more than 5 feet thick.
right. Um, and even then, I think. Now let me see. Stone object of medium size or smaller, or a section of stone no more than 5 feet in any dimension, and form it into a shape. Uh, let's see. You could make a small passage through a wall as long as the wall is less than 5 feet thick. You could also shape a stone door's frame to seal the door shut. Oh yeah, so it does seem like it has a it kind of seems like it has a limitation against like if you were to go up against like a 10-foot thick stone wall. It
Right.
basically said you can't like cast it once and like get rid of all the stone and then cast it again and then get rid of the other 5 feet. I'm not I'm not totally sure about that, but that's kind of how I'm reading it.
That's kind of how I
Um
read it. That if it's deeper, thicker than 5 feet, you can't do it. Like at all. So that and we don't know how thick it is because we can't find an end. But Ath might be able to do some kind of rough course measuring since he can fly over it.
I thought we
But
did some math to compare the distance of the clear section to the other.
no, I mean the thickness of it.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like, I thought we already kind of looked through the glass at the sand on the other side and kind of determined approximately how far it was, but seemingly very thick.
Yeah, I mean, at the very top when he flies over it, I'm guessing it's at least, 4 or 5 feet thick, but it could be a lot more.
If I remember correctly, it was about 5. Um, it was like a solid, a solid space on a map
Right.
uh, of
Okay.
thickness. So, I mean, if stone shape worked on glass, and if you were able to cast stone shape on that wall, um, maybe something could happen.
Well, the other thing is that if we can do it, I mean, Nimbus is a cantrip, and mine is a one-shot wonder. But if I can get it started with 5 feet or so, and then he can finish it off with a cantrip, that
I
could work
mean,
as well.
I would say if you have if you have a 5 foot thick stone wall, you could make a hole in it, and then you can go to a different spot and make a different hole in it, right? And you could expand the original hole as much as you wanted. You just have to. It would take you a few days, right?
Well, yeah, right. For as
Well,
long
I
as
couldn't, but somebody else could, because like I said, I only have one spell slot for tier 4.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I can find a sage advice on this one, but it seems like what's being implied from people who have discussed it is that the something larger than 5 feet in all directions, that you're limited to basically a 5 by 5 by 5 squares worth of effect on every casting.
So if you apply your casting, does it stay?
Well, yeah,
You
it's
got a
it's
5
permanent.
square foot hole?
Like if,
Well,
if you made a hole in a wall, and then you have another spell slot or whatever, take a long rest, and you come back to that hole in the wall, and you go 5 feet to your left. I don't see any reason you wouldn't. You now have a different wall, one that has a hole in it already. You pick a different 5 feet, right, and you make another hole. That seems within the bounds of the spell.
Okay, well, I can totally deal with that, because I was reading it like your SOL, if it's thicker
yeah,
than 5 feet.
I'm pretty sure it's written that way so that you don't like you couldn't take a 5 by 5 pile of sand and turn it into glass, because each granule of sand is an individual object, and you're limited to interacting to one object.
Okay, that's fair.
Details. Shit.
Well, right there, I've been googling it while you guys were talking, and there apparently was a lot of like really interesting combat exploitations in previous versions that I've never personally seen played, but so
Yeah,
they're saying it
Stone
was
Shape is one
nerfed
of those.
specifically to avoid that kind of shit.
Okay.
But they say carving a tunnel is perfectly fine as long as you have the spell slots and you take the time to do it. It's just you're limited, like Nero was saying, to a 5 by 5 block.
Okay. So they think if you're looking at like a 20-foot thick wall, you could do it with 4 casting.
Right.
Okay,
Wow.
because I was kind of reading it like you couldn't do that because it has to be a object. Let's see, a
Right.
section of stone no more than 5 feet in any dimension and form it into a. I mean,
Right, because each 5 by 5 by 5 is a different section of stone.
right? Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Like you just smush all the stone or put it somewhere else.
Turn it
And
into a hinged door.
yeah, and then after you do that, like it's just stone again. It's not like the spell doesn't know, right?
So
Right.
what I was thinking is trying to make as nice and perfect and jagged of a crack as possible, that we can start kind of working into it and see if we can start breaking the damn thing.
Oh, nice. Like, yeah, turn the 5 by 5 into like a wedge shape, and then use your like cold water to try to get the heat differential to fracture the glass.
Could try that, or get a nice 50-foot tall tree and like a couple of things that we can rest it on that'll allow it to roll smooth,
Right.
and then just
Now,
ram that damn thing.
there are two things I will remind you of since you visited this wall maybe a month ago in game.
Oh yeah, it's miles tall. We'd have to run like hell to get crushed by it.
Oh no, yes, that's a thing. When you interacted with the wall, there were some attempts to damage it. You were unable to scratch the thing.
Yeah, I remember we kind of thought it was made of diamond glass or something.
And in the city ruins proper, you did spot a it sort of at one point bisected a town square, where on the side you were on, the flagstones had been transformed at some point into a uh rippling, now cooled off pile of slag. And again, the wall was unmoved by this past event.
I'm guessing that the creation of the glass caused that slag.
We had
But
kind of determined
did.
otherwise, right?
that's the only place that those melted flagstones existed. It was like a 20-foot radius semicircle near the base of the wall.
Yeah, I don't remember if we had proof or not, but we had come to the conclusion that somebody cast a spell there, like explosion or fireball or something. Yeah, actually, that makes me wonder if it's actually glass at all or just something transparent.
It's mundane,
Well, like
whatever it is. It's not
transparent
magical.
obsidian or transparent volcanic glass or something like that, where you actually use the silica and the sand itself to create this wall of glass.
Right, or yeah, exactly, or like a super clear crystal of some kind, like a silica crystal or something. Totally. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, well, Lauren's not particularly interested in that kind of high magic. That's kind of the stuff that's generally left to folks who care about studying.
I think
But,
Naya's more interested in the science.
But
That's
I mean,
become her thing.
Right. He understands that there's no freaking way that wall would exist without some massive magic being involved. Like he also wonders if maybe it wasn't like literally transmuted rather than summoned or built,
Yeah.
Yeah, at the
we have
at the phrase
logistical.
of massive magic, you see just like Dex glance over at the tower that you can see.
Right.
We have logistical concerns to even think about starting such a project.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if that's the way through that wall, the only way that happens is if we build an obelisk over there.
Yeah, because we can't we can't get there and back somewhere. Yeah.
Get through. I mean, hey, if you made a 5-foot tunnel through that thing, that's enough to get people through it, and then
Yep, absolutely. Especially if it was one 5-foot tunnel in the middle of the glass, so that it would hold itself together as a wall should,
right?
Without falling or collapsing or whatever,
right?
So that people could go through it, people in carts and whatever.
Yeah, well, and like I was going to say, you do that in the middle of the city where we have an obelisk and a base, so that we could even secure that interface.
Yeah, and in terms of traversal, really, your commission wouldn't need something wider than like 20 feet to really make use of that. So it might take a couple weeks of work, and it might be humanoids only for the first couple of weeks. But eventually, a little bit of work later, you'd fit a cart through that.
Why would we need anything 20 feet wide?
For the carts.
Which cart is 20 feet wide?
Even 10, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was wondering if maybe we shouldn't have Van look at it once the supply lines are hooked back up. I mean, I put quotes around "look" when I say that.
Well, One of
disintegration
those eyes does disintegrate, doesn't it?
Right.
So you might just be able to shoot a hole right through it for us. To be honest.
I mean, it's we would learn something if he can't, if nothing else.
time.
That would be kind of terrifying, wouldn't it?
Yeah, right. Also, kind of amazing.
Yeah. Wow.
All right, so I've got this cool new plate armor idea made out of the stuff I found. Only problem is getting it off of the place I found.
Yep. Uh,
Okay, well, I didn't really mean to derail
no, it's fine.
anything, but
I
That's
mean,
okay. Planning.
the other side to think about with it is if we really wanted to brute force it, all we need is a chunk, a big, sharp chunk. And if you could make a bunch of those with the stone shape, we could potentially start etching into it, creating weaknesses that could be damaged.
Worked on. Yeah, I mean, if we can figure out a way to do any damage to it at all, then it just becomes a matter of effort and time.
Mm-hmm. Or if we could get the 5x5x5 chunk out of it, and then somebody's got a nice fancy explosive, or maybe not even, maybe just, wide as deep as possible that it's to put the explosive in, so it's got contact.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Like, I wonder if you could do that with a rune, so that you had time to get away.
You could put a timer on Glyph of Warding, right?
Yeah, or I suppose a long fuse if it's going to be something made mechanically.
Right, like an alchemical explosion. Totally.
Yep.
Yeah, I think at some point, I mean, it doesn't have to be this particular expedition because I don't entirely know that we've actually consulted enough experts to know if it's worth our time or not at all. But it feels like at some point it's probably worth heading back there and seeing if any of our alternate theories of how to affect that wall have like any basis in fact.
The Brigadier would tell you that she was planning on, as soon as she got some folks up here next week from Cassis, she was planning on sending a squad or two straight in that direction. Especially because she's been kind of keen on the idea of maybe taking that place for the commission as well.
uh-huh.
Um,
Yeah, I would suggest 3 squads, actually. One to the northern mountain pass from the edge of the glass, second one to the southern pass of the southern section of the mountains at the edge of the glass, and the third at the glass directly.
yeah, not a bad idea, and then they can all meet up in the center and
Right, and share what they found. And
Right.
it's going to be rough terrain for the squads that go into the mountains, but we kind of need to know, like, how long did it take you? Can we even traverse the mountains?
Right. Is there any way to hop over the wall around its interface in the mountains or something? Totally.
yeah. I mean, she says so. If your team wants to um, join that group, you could do that. If you want to go there in advance, that's fine too. I mean, if you think you have a good idea to get through that wall, then well, I won't say it can't hurt to try because I'm not willing to put money on that, but uh, it's probably worth a try. Yes, you've had a long rest.
Thank you.
Just Naya and Irenaeus, though. I think everybody else clicked their button.
I haven't yet, but
Okay, then go ahead.
Cool.
Click push.
Yeah, I usually do it right before we set out, and we never set out.
Me too.
Good call. But yeah, in the end, what you want to do right now is up to you, and we're definitely still moving people around in the commission and trying to get this obelisk right here at Aris's Tower kind of in working order. You know, aside from just you guys.
Yeah, there isn't a hell of a lot that's in a single Redshift's range.
No.
Yeah, because I mean, on a good week, you guys can get about 4, maybe 5 days out. Yeah.
Yeah, I think somewhere like 90, 95 miles is the max we've ever gone in a single expedition. I think, or in a single outing.
I think we should check out the lake to the. There might be some use there.
Yeah, if we I mean, we can skirt through the woods so that we actually explore some of the path to it as well, I think. But I think if we go basically straight to that little southwestern corner of that body there, we hit a point where there's enough time left in our expedition to sort of decide what we want to do from there.
Which lake?
Serb, what are the marks? I'm gonna ping these. What's that one?
That is the fog ruin that you explored previously.
I thought that was over here. I didn't realize it was that far north. Okay.
Yep.
So then what's this one?
That is the keep on the hill where you fended off.
And the fort. Okay.
With Mortier's team. Yeah, and the one just northwest of it is the amphitheater. So,
right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, just to be clear, Nura, you're talking about like up here, right?
Yeah, to at least get started there, it'll only take us a couple days to get that far.
Yeah, swampland / wetland would be pretty accurate as well.
Well, we can use our swamp friends, right?
They might have a hard time getting through the forest, actually.
No, we use water walk.
That helps too.
Okay.
Oh, we have. Okay. Yeah, I guess we do have access to that now.
Now, actually, my question today is because for the first time in a little while, we don't have ambergreen. So, do you have access to create food and water at the moment? We might have to track rations today.
Yep, I do have 10 rations though, so I'm probably good for this outing.
Okay. Yeah, probably.
I mean, we've got 3 rations, and then can always just set stuff up for hunting and trapping.
I can set up Goodberry, change spells around.
Goodberry is also viable. As a reminder, we did update the rule for that for this campaign that you can ritual cast it if you have a handful of fresh berries. So won't cost you a spell slot, but you do have to kind of forage for it. However, it's not currently the dead of winter, and you're in a forest, so this is pretty viable.
Sure, shouldn't be that difficult to roll if we have to make one.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, the swamp seems like a good start. I am curious to eventually get into it's not Vess. What's the city called? I know we already went over this earlier this session, but
Which city?
the desert, the one on the desert border.
Shozang.
Yeah, that
Sure.
shows that.
I love that name. You get points for that one, sir.
Yeah, I like it too.
Chosen. So that's
Let me you know what I'll do? I'll do a cool label right now.
cool.
I should make it a color that's not yellow so that you guys can actually read it. Let's just do red.
Now, just for because it's been a while and I didn't actually look over the OneNote before
No
we
worries.
started today. Is that city occupied by Dragon King forces?
From
As
what
far
you
as
could
we know?
tell, no. When you visited, I think you were there, Irenaeus. But if you weren't, you'd have the info anyway. When you visited, you found it was it's a walled city. The ruins of one, anyway. Um, there were a couple places the wall was kind of broken down that you could get in. The city itself is almost perfectly bisected by the glass wall. And if you go into the city, you will find that it's dry and dusty, and from what little you explored, seems very, very empty. Um, now, this you
I
did
mean,
take
empty
note.
like Orbis, or
You did take note that it didn't have the same property as Orvis of there literally being no living things in it, which was a bit of a comfort. Um, there were still like birds and whatnot around.
okay.
Um, but even glancing inside any of the buildings, um, you got the impression that it may well have been long since looted.
Okay.
However, there was absolutely nothing to indicate that anybody was living there now.
So no cryptic webs anywhere, no like conspicuous pile of bones. That's
Oh,
that's that's a good sign.
yeah, very, very thankfully, no webs. I mean, at the very least, this city does not seem to have a web monster.
Yeah.
Who can say about the other
We
handful
could
of
probably
cities?
take one, I won't say easily, but with certainly less trouble this time around. But I'm not going to push my luck with that one. That seems like that's just going to invite some sort of trouble. Uh, but okay, so there's the swamp or the volcano. I think heading for the swamp from here, from Aris's tower, is probably our best bet. Perhaps we'll find where the Nasharala and Zerimoth Zeramos were staying when they were prepping to raid us. If there's another teleport circle that might be something useful that we can add to the list of teleportation circles. Okay.
Yeah, Van's team hasn't found too much in that region, but they've also been, they've only gone to a couple of sites so far and been kind
Yeah.
of focused on building up. So still plenty of unknowns in this area.
Of course. I'm trying to remember what in that area was the highest vantage point. Would it be the arena? Is that over the swamp?
The fort was up on a hill. It was actually facing north. You could see quite a ways over the remainder
Okay.
of the forest. So yeah, if you wanted to get a good look out there, you could maybe get a a good
It
few
might be
miles of
worth
view.
going back there to just kind of reacquaint ourselves with the surrounding area and pick like a landmark off in the distance to head towards. But I don't want to make the decision for everybody. Does that seem all right?
Yeah, I mean that seems like a good idea to me.
Sorry, to go to which area again?
The swamp in the north, potentially find the wherever Nasharala and Zeramos were prepping to attack us by the keep and arena, and if there's another like teleport circle that we might be able to make use of.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's probably our best to do.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm rested up. I've got rations and some fishing
Yeah.
supplies and
If everybody's good to
trapping
go,
dogs.
then we can certainly go.
It's 3 rations provided.
Yeah, you could top up to 3. And then if you
For
want
free.
to, what was that?
For free.
Yeah. And then
Um,
Marin said he's got 10. And Naya has good berry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
So just so everybody knows, Dex will be heading back to Orbis. The Brigadier will remain here for another week to help organize people. But after that, she's likely going to assign a new captain to this tower, and get back to like main HQ herself, because she's been gone for a while. And she's not going to send anybody to investigate the volcano until you all think you're probably ready for that. Because if nothing's happened by not investigating it yet, then it might be more dangerous to go touch it than to not touch it.
I still just want to know if it's not like, or if it's actually
Right. There was a plan to send out the bug on an expedition to the south, so that can certainly happen in a couple of weeks as well. So yes, that'll be on the list as well. And yeah, then the rest of the plan is kind of the whole Shosei deal. So while you guys are gone, that's basically what'll be happening. Team Mortier on guard duty here still too.
All right, well, let's head out, guys.
Off we go. So which direction are you planning on moving?
Due north, right?
Straight north, right? Head to the keep. Try and see what we can see,
Okay,
and actually look for a place to move towards.
cool.
From there?
So let's see. You guys are not going to have any random encounters in the flower field, first of all.
right.
So I think what we're gonna do for now is actually not roll any encounters for the first 2 days, because you will be able to get to this fort by the afternoon of your second day of travel.
Cool.
Okay.
And then after you guys leave here, we'll start rolling usual. So yeah, if somebody wants to move your token, then you can just kind of head right up there.
Word.
All right. I'm guessing you all knock off a ration for the first day of travel, and then probably the second one once you get here.
I think once because assuming we're spending the evening at the fort, I'll set up like a couple of the traps and go hunting, because we reached it in the afternoon, right?
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Yeah, and I can forage around looking for berries to make sure that I have whatever I need to be able to produce good berry in a pinch.
They do have to be fresh berries, so you can't keep them on you for too long. That's the big limitation of the ritual spell.
Okay.
Yeah, so pick them before you cast it, basically.
Yeah. Right. But here we are once again.
The site of almost death.
Yeah. Actually,
Almost.
this is the smaller version. I don't know where the big one went. Did I get rid of it? I think I got rid of it.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just going to be kind of
Yeah.
bored for now. If I remember correctly, it's like 1 or 2 roofs of this fort that are still up and active.
Oh yeah. All
Unless-
things
unless that's
considered.
changed.
No, it hasn't actually. I mean, at current time, it's been a few weeks, so if I remember correctly, there were a few salamander corpses and Fomorian corpses left out and about.
Actually, no.
Albus never scavenged all of the salamander corpses, right? Make a
Yeah,
pair of
he and I
fucking pants.
cleaned the place up, so to speak.
Did you bury them?
You know, I'm not gonna pretend like we did. I'm sure we burned them.
But they're salamanders, though. You can't.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, then we probably rolled them off the hill.
Okay. That's okay. I can give you that. So what you have is a small grave that at the bottom of the hill,
Right.
which you would notice as you approach the hillside, right? Like
Hmm.
you'd look down, you'd see, this
Carnal
burial.
pit, if you will.
Yeah.
Because remember, we skinned and harvested literally every corpse.
Yes, yeah, and as such, the wildlife has done their work, which is kind of what the salamanders would have wanted, at least, um, minus the being skinned for their loot, but in terms of burial, left on the battlefield is kind of the plan.
Yeah, a sky burial, if you will.
Mhm. So at the very least, you don't have to trudge through all that stuff. Once you make it here, yeah, you're able to set up a quick camp inside quite easily, and also if you wanted to climb up onto the roofs, that's pretty easy to do too. Getting up onto the walls and then the roofs, it's just a quick little pull up.
All right.
20 feet or so
I'll-
off the ground.
I'll go up to one of the. Like, I think this roof was the one.
All 3 of them are intact. Yeah, so
Oh, okay.
you could get up it.
Yeah, I don't think it really makes too much of a difference.
Yeah, I'd probably also be getting up on whichever one I kind of get the best vantage point from.
Yeah, now the hill,
Heard
per the other map, was kind of in this direction. So it was a steep hill down south, and an even steeper hill, almost a cliff, to the north. Below which the forest, you're kind of on this rise out of the forest, so you're above the tree line. Right here at the castle. And so from there you can see a pretty decent distance out over the trees. Here we go. Now I'm not going to use this, but here's your oh boy, roll 20 that.
The bigger map.
Yeah.
The bigger
Okay.
map. There it is.
doesn't really go any further north than what we have, though.
No, yeah, this is basically it. I would just wanted to remind you guys of how the shape is generally set up. The steep hill is off a little ways just to the north as well, so it's kind of like I said, this outcrop up out of the trees. That's where you are.
Well, I'd be climbing up and using the bird. Everything that I could kind of get and afford.
Yeah. So in the interest of getting some information, you've got a decent amount of height here, but not too much. You know, you're just a couple 100 feet up. So I'll probably give you like this much of a radius, basically.
Okay. Sounds
All
good.
So we'll go ahead and clear out some of these very carefully. Okay. Seems good. I have to make sure to not click on the main map and delete it.
Much appreciated.
Good plan.
Controls V works, but it's scary. So that's about what you can see. You can obviously see the amphitheater ruined off in the distance. In fact, you can see that even a few months later, it is kind of a there is evidence that there has been quite the forest fire in that area.
Yeah.
Which was not the case the first time you were here.
Right.
But north of that, you can see that the woods give way to what appear to be wetlands, similar to the area around Orvis. Kind of dank and soggy. And actually, could everybody roll nature real quick?
Sure.
Nice
No,
one, Lauren.
no, I cannot.
Apparently, I can't either.
I literally critically failed that roll.
Oh,
So I'm like,
nice.
I got
you
3
mean the
points
skill
in
of
it.
engineering, you know?
Good lord.
Montlarin is very busy appreciating something different about this location. He's not paying attention to whatever
Nice.
this is looking at. But you two on the roof. This may be a conversation you have together, or it may be a conclusion you reach individually. But in your experience, normally, like, swamplands don't really just kind of form out in the middle of a landlocked area for no reason. Unless there was some kind of large lake nearby, that might do it. But even then, you kind of have a sense that maybe what you're looking at is not quite as natural as the wetlands that you've traveled through previously that are attached to the bay. It just strikes you as weird that this sort of biome would be here.
There any kind of indication that to the north of what we can see might be a lake?
It's too far to tell.
Okay.
The horizon takes over at a certain point.
I mean, if this is kind of like a odd lowland, then a swamp might make sense if this area sees a lot of rain.
Yeah,
Right.
that's really like the only thing you can think of. But then it's like, but then why is all the area around it so dry? Like you're not. It doesn't seem like you're that much higher in elevation here than
Yeah.
there. And it certainly, from what you've been told, it certainly doesn't extend west, northwest between those mountains, which presumably would be equally as low. Hard to say. You guys don't have a full picture yet, obviously.
I wonder the woods to the north. Do we know if they have any rivers that flow into this area?
There are a couple of rivers on this world map, but those are the really, really big and notable ones. What is kind of the assumption on this world map is that there is, unless it's explicitly a very dry location, you can probably find a river or a stream in any given hex, or at least in any given set of hexes, like one wide set of hexes, probably has a river
Gotcha.
flowing through it somewhere.
Okay.
So most of the time, unless there's a very particular like very large, wide, mighty river, it's just not going to show up on.
Gotcha.
Okay.
All right. Still afternoon, or is this one where we're gonna be camping for a moment? Because I'm.
Oh, that's up to you. It is definitely afternoon. It is your third hex of the day, so if you wanted to travel one more, you certainly could. If you only wanted to take a short stop here, but again, that's your choice to make.
I think that would be worth our time. To just keep going.
Makes
I
sense.
wonder, do we want to just go straight through the thick of the swamp and see what we can find?
Or maybe just like skirt the edge.
Yeah. I mean, it could be skirt the edge and then go through on the way back, or double back a different way to try to cover more of the area.
Yeah, I mean, we could also head over to the other keep on the west. We don't necessarily have to go back to the tower.
That's true.
Yeah, you know for a fact there's an obelisk there. You were in contact with the people at that location.
So it might be worth, just heading out this way and then cutting across.
Yeah.
All right. In fact, at a certain point, you wouldn't be surprised if you bumped into a team of scouts out here.
Yeah, I bet you will probably see evidence of them if we don't see them themselves. That makes sense. Well, hopefully we don't see evidence of them.
Well, let's get to we've got one more hex, right? So let's get to either the water's edge hex right north of us, or go northwest diagonally.
Yeah, whichever one you prefer is easy. I guess in terms of distance traveled, it actually doesn't make a difference.
Right. I mean, we might as well just barrel straight north, I guess? Question mark. Unless you guys wanted to go check out the arena.
I'm willing to go just straight north.
Yeah.
Did we check out the arena before?
Yeah, it has moving traps and everything. It's dangerous.
Okay.
I think it was just Ambergreen, Jabberlax, and myself.
Yeah, I didn't go.
They told us
Albus
about it.
Tavern Jabberlax.
Yeah, we told you about it.
Yeah. And then Alvis Taver left Morio's handkerchief there, and then a few hours later there was an explosion.
I remember that.
Yep.
Okay. North it is.
All right.
Sacrificial silken square.
Died for the cause.
It did have Moria's name embroidered on it, so it was a little, it was a little to carry.
Right.
Okay. What does watch look for you guys as you are setting up camp on the edge here?
Everybody's in the bubble, and whoever wants to look out, do it.
Yes, there's a bubble. Perfect. I always forget about the bubble.
I mean, I guess that means Bet Mounty's on watch.
Yeah, I only need like 4 hours of sleep, so as long as I'm in the bubble when you cast a spell, I could step out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the only thing I can't fit's a horse. You cast Shrink for 8 hours.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming you guys go to the bathroom outside the bubble too. So.
Well, yeah, I
Some of
suppose
it.
that's a good idea. I just
Right, the
have
wizard
to hold
can't.
it.
He has to. Yeah, he has to stay for the whole 8 hours.
I can move some earth and do whatever.
Oh no.
Yeah, no one has to know.
If air genasi can hold their breath, can water genasi?
Well, I don't know about that, but if you try to stick their face in it to drown them, that wouldn't work. They just breathe it.
Anyway, you guys sleep. And you're just we do. What are your plans for food on this second day? Are you spending another set of rations each?
I was planning to go hunting because we're kind of at the forest's edge, right?
Yeah. Do you want to try doing something like that while you are traveling?
I guess.
Because you may be able to. I would say if Aranais wants to, she could break away from the group a little bit and go ahead of them, or off to the side somewhere, generally in the same direction. And
Yeah, I guess she'll like stay forest side while the rest of the group just travels a little faster,
okay.
and she'll catch up when she's done.
Sir, what do I
Then
need to roll to show that I found berries?
well, Naya, in your case, it will be as simple as a survival check, and in this part of the world at this season, it's probably going to be as low as a DC 50.
Well, my rolls are terrible.
No luck today.
Sheesh.
Yeah, at the very least, you didn't spot any berry bushes on your.
No, but I had to sneeze. I have rations as well, and I have enough to share if we need to.
Well, let's see how
Likewise.
Irenaeus does.
So it's a survival check.
Yeah. So what we'll do is give it a survival check to find anything.
Oh, sure. Show me up.
And I mean, this is literally her job.
I do have a +8 to survival.
Like she's been hunting since she was 4.
Yeah,
Um,
very
I have
small.
+4. It's still a crap roll.
so
Nice.
it's not too hard, Irenaeus, for you to find evidence, especially if you take into account the activities around that slightly gruesome gravesite at the bottom of the hill.
Okay.
Uh,
Easy enough.
tracks. That in this case lead you a little ways a couple miles out from the party um to a not the biggest boar you've ever seen.
Okay.
It doesn't appear to be shifted, this boar. It is
That's good.
navigating the forest. um if you want to try to sneak up on it or something,
I can
uh
attempt that.
yeah, we can do a stealth roll.
All right.
Well,
Nice.
that's great. You're, you know, feet from being within inches of it.
All right. Well,
Um,
that's good. I'm trying to think of the best way to go at this. Probably just
you would definitely get a sneak attack.
pounce on it and try and just slit its throat and let it bleed out.
Oh my god, she's gonna wrestle it, like, actually.
Not actually, but
Oh, okay. I was just assuming you'd go with the arrow, but I like the
if
I
if
like
I'm
the
like within lunging distance of the thing, I might as well try and just
yeah.
make sure that I give it the as clean of a hit and as let's call it merciful of a death as I can. And would I get advantage on this,
Um,
assuming I'm making an attack roll?
let's see. Yeah, because you're hidden from the boar right now.
All right, all
So
right.
you'd have advantage until your first attack, which would trigger sneak attack, obviously.
Yeah. So that's an 11.
Wow, with advantage. It's a really good thing that a boar has an AC of 11.
Oh, good.
And also has 11 hit points.
Well, I mean, the 3d6 there on the sneak attack really came through in the clutch. But
Yeah.
the 3 6s on the d6. So yeah, once she's got that like drained and um not cleaned yet, but at least let it
Yeah, that's kind of an overnight project, right?
uh not necessarily, like, while we're setting up camp can probably certainly don't want to do a whole pig roast and
Right.
making rations for the future is an overnight project, but dinner itself isn't going to be like a terribly difficult task. Um, and well, I mean, I guess how I can carry. I'm encumbered after the next 54 pounds, but I can carry up to 400.
Yeah. This is like a situation where you'd like either carry it or just drag it, right? With like
Yeah,
a rope contraption.
yeah.
So that's not a problem. And then it's just a matter of finding your companion's trail and catching up with them as they're finding a spot to camp.
Perfect.
So you guys, the other three of you are all picking out a spot, and Nimbus is doing the preparations for his ritual. When Arenaeus just kind of pops out of the bushes with a full boar slung over her shoulder.
That's a good one.
Congrats.
Gets to eat.
I mean, you guys don't get to eat that much fresh food at base, even, right?
Like, I wouldn't expect so. Maybe
No,
there's like a small garden, but
right, like a really small garden, and obviously there's stuff shipped in and kept salted and cooked back up. Um, and if you're at Harpum, obviously there's a little bit of fishing going on. Um, Even at Maracus, there was some fishing available because it was on a river and also like only a little ways from the ocean. Um, but like at somewhere like RSS Tower or Castus, it's just like, yep, rations. Um, so fresh meat is pretty great out here.
Yeah, this is a treat. Wow, good job. Thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Now,
If
you are on,
we could just make it into a giant thing of soup. It just matter of how to carry it.
right, that part's hard.
kind of would I just like salted it and just let it smoke over the campfire while we sleep, pretty much.
I wonder what we might also attract with the smell.
Well, it's a good thing that we can set up camp wherever we need to.
I don't think smell escape.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Actually, yeah, I don't know about that.
Does
sound
smoke,
doesn't.
Does smoke escape? Is it safe to light a campfire inside the dome?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Okay, you can because you can control it's like comfortable temperature and atmosphere.
Right.
Right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay.
Well, let's cook escape.
Well, does the spell say air flows between them?
Just so long as we started the fire before we put the hut down, the smoke would be trapped in the hut because it wasn't. Well, I guess any new smoke that would apply to as well. Smoke would be trapped in the hut. Wasn't present when the spell was cast.
So we're all dead by morning.
Yeah, so that one wouldn't work. So I'm sure the campfire is just outside the bubble.
Yep.
I guess that's how, that's how it has to be done. I mean, yeah, that Leomund can only take you so far.
What are you talking about? We can hotbox that thing so. Cool.
But it's not like you guys have never cooked out in the wild before. So it's usually not too much of a problem for you, and this time is no exception. You're able to get a peaceful sleep, and if anything came to bother your campfire in the night, there's no sign of it in the morning.
Cool.
So,
all right.
At the start of the third day, now is the time when we're going to start. Actually, I would like to ask you guys to roll adventuring initiative. Your tokens are at the bottom of the map in the ocean. If you want to click on those to roll initiative, and then we'll take turns moving.
Left advantage on by accident.
Oh yeah.
That was your first one, so it's okay.
All right.
Okay. So it's up to each of you to move. We will do one hex per person. as usual, the first text doesn't make a encounter check roll. So are you going into the swamp?
That was our plan, right?
Yeah,
To
probably this way so we can kind of see what's going on along the sides, along both
Alright.
sides, along that path.
Okay. Naya, are you casting water walk?
I am now. I didn't realize we were going into the swamp, but I am now.
With that ability, you're able to keep a normal pace through the swamp.
Yep.
You know, Naya can stop every now and then. Make
Well,
it so
when
you
I've got to
guys aren't.
recast my horse.
Yeah, and you guys are not falling into the muck.
Right. And that's
You
a
don't have
ritual, so I can just keep it
Yeah.
going.
You don't have to watch your footing as much. That's a lot easier. So then, Naya, you're up, and you're gonna have to roll an encounter check. After you move.
Did I do that
Okay.
wrong?
Nope, you did that right. D20 is the correct one. No problems on your first day in this wetland so far.
Okay.
You know, it's damp and uneven terrain, but like we just said, you're able to get through it without any problem thanks to your abilities, so it's a lot easier than traversing it normally. Lauren, you're up.
All right. Do you guys want to go north or northwest?
I think straight north, and when we get there to set up camp, I'll be able to scan the nearby area.
Yeah, you've got one hex of movement after that. Okay, Mount Lauren, all is well with you as well.
Right on.
All right, so Nimbus, you can take the last move. Roll 20. Yeah, so Nimbus, you spend a little bit of time in the evening. I would say this is probably after your dome has been set up, allowing your familiar to scan the area as usual. And while you're doing this, taking stock of things, jotting down notes and sketches of a map. Nothing really notable happens overnight. But you are quite in the middle of a wide open swampland at this point.
Yep.
Do we have some idea of how deep the water is?
Well, we did, Ernest and I did discern in our other game that while you're water walking, you cannot, for example, put a stick in the water unless you wanted to drop it.
Okay.
So if you had like a meter stick that you found, you could like stand it up on the water and drop it in, or you could do it when your ritual is off normally. But as long as you're holding it, you can't actually push it underwater.
Well, I
Yeah,
figure we
so-
probably had to find some sort of a dry spot because we can't water walk while we're sleeping.
Indeed.
So
Is this a like fully liquidy swamp, or is this a kind of bog where there's slight mounds of damp but solid ground and
There's definitely solid ground.
Okay.
And it's sort of the thing where like you can you can definitely take pathways that even if you weren't water walking would keep your feet dry. Um, but the amount of dead ends you'll run into doing that is vast, and you never like between the grass that is growing on top of the water and the the twisting streams themselves, it's very hard to get around without sinking into something.
All right. But
Um,
we can, once water walk kind of wears off or starts to wear off, we can find a dry patch,
yeah,
wait for 10 minutes.
yeah,
or
exactly.
20
It's
minutes.
not. I mean, within a 6 mile hex, there's bound to be
Yeah.
somewhere that you can rest. Um, and aside from the mosquitoes, um, who thankfully are not allowed in your tiny hut unless they were
Hmm.
in there when it was cast. Um, uh, you're able to stay safe, at least so far.
All right.
Now, I think on this third day, Aranea, since you were preparing that hunt that you made, that would at the very least last you a full second day, if not three total.
That's what I had hoped.
Yeah. Um, so we can just say that's something that you've been able to do and maintain this whole time. That's kind of been Araneas's uh project while everybody else is navigating and such.
Okay.
Uh, and of course, realizing that since we have four players, I'm screwing Irenaeus out of exploration. Irenaeus, I would like you to take your free hex and then also take the second hex of the day, so we can make it uneven.
All right.
And give everybody a chance to roll some dice.
I think that's starting the next square. Okay. So we're just headed. Are we still headed like straight north? Should I head off to?
Well, yeah, is it going to be north or is it going to be around the edge of the swamp? It's the question.
Yeah, I thought we were doing the edge, but okay.
Well, I don't know how far west it goes, but can certainly just kind of. It's 1, 2.
And
Yeah, that makes sense.
Kind of find the edge, for lack of a better.
it does continue in all directions that you can see here for now. And yeah, go ahead and give me that d20 roll.
I think
At noon
it's
time.
is encounter check. Is
It's
that what it
encounter
is?
check. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. 6 is super cool. Naya, you're up.
Encounter check.
General direction. Yes, please. 19 is also super cool. This has been an uneventful trip so far, which is always a good thing out here. Unless you're running into goblins, usually the stuff out here is not the most fun to encounter. Lauren, yours is going to be the nighttime check.
All right.
And once again, we have a pretty easygoing, peaceful camp out. I assume we're going to be doing the same thing with the map review.
Yep.
So it does continue for some distance. And then we will will come up on the next day. Day 5 of travel.
There's still enough that we expenditure.
Yes, yeah, but that will probably be about the last of it.
Okay.
So Nimbus, you'll get the free hex, and then the second one are both yours.
Gauging where we currently know northern, I think, one way.
Oh, that's bigger than I thought.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Yes. 12 is also very nice.
All right.
Can I roll an insight check to see if I notice if there's any directionality to the flow of the water?
Sure, yeah.
Holy shit, I was paying attention.
Good roll.
Incredible.
Yeah, so like, is the water in this swamp completely stagnant? Is it flowing? Is there any way to tell?
You could you could definitely like look at it, watch it, touch it, it's water. What it seems to you is that kind of trying to keep an eye on it for the past day is that it's pretty stagnant in a lot of places. But if you say toss a leaf into the water, you will notice it slowly drift east. So it's not completely still.
Does it have any apparent source?
Well, so my flash of insight was that, water would be flowing away from its source. So if it's flowing towards the east, its source is potentially somewhere to the west. I mean, terrain not befouling that just by being super sloped or whatever. But
Yeah. Like up in the mountains, perhaps that are there.
right.
Always an option. But yeah, that's the impression that you get.
Yeah, I'll just mention it idly as we're moving. Like, hey, water's probably coming, from somewhere, and then I'll just point vaguely off to the west.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, even Montlarin knows that you have streams. They start in mountains, and then they turn into rivers, and then they go downhill generally.
Right.
In most places in the world, they go downhill.
Yeah, Redshift notwithstanding.
Good observation.
But yeah, halfway through the day, it's Ernest's turn.
Thank you. Sorry. So let's see. Shall we? Yeah, let's go one more kind of in the northeast. Encounter check. Oh, good. We found the edge of the swamp. And if the water's kind of flowing east, we might want to double back and kind of continue to head west. Just kind of retrace our steps.
Well, we're
Yeah.
kind of aiming for Keep Cantum, right?
I think that was the plan.
I
Yeah,
think that
like
was the plan, yeah.
Once the redshift starts, kind of get over there and
Yeah.
make that connection.
We should be able to do that pretty easily. 2 days.
Oh, hey, an 11. Okay, hit the other
Yeah.
button, please.
Other button. Press.
Okay. It's the middle of the day. The sun is high in the sky. It's the middle of summer here. Um, Fairly sweltering, especially for you, Irenaeus, and you, Naya. In fact, um, two folk from high climates. Um, Stinging and biting insects everywhere. And prickly grass all over the place.
Okay, I feel itchy and miserable. Nice
yes.
job, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you
This is
very much.
extremely unpleasant.
I'm really glad that turned out that way. Now, what breaks the kind of persistent buzzing sound of uh, cicadas and other insects is a howl.
A what?
A howl
Oh,
that shatters the air and puts you. Let's turn on the light here. So the old way we were doing. Bam. Got to put these friends on the board here. Irenaeus, you turn toward the source of the howl. You see maybe 100 feet away a quartet of semi-quadrupedal creatures, beasts, um, loping across the swampy landscape, headed in your direction.
Well, well, it looks like we've got company. She'll ready her bow. And it seems like we've already been spotted, correct?
Oh yeah, they're super coming at you. Please.
Okay, yeah. All right. So once they get in range, she'll shoot off an arrow at the one in front.
Yeah. Okay. Roll initiative. Let me roll it for these guys too. Nice 3.
Oh god, roll 20 is being super laggy.
Nice. Leave it to roll 20 as soon as combat starts in 5e to just be unplayable. Right? We can talk for 6 hours, but
Right, exactly. Well, at least that worked. All right.
nice. Yeah, okay. So Nimbus and Montlaran are pretty quick on the up, while Irenaeus is catching their attention. So Nimbus, you get to go first.
All right. Four. Where's that? Here it is.
fourth one
The
down.
left. Yeah, that'll do right there.
Okay, you're gonna hit those two in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Okay. Deck save versus that. Damn it. I'm assuming you casted those 3. All right. Let me roll that save. What's the DC on this?
Come up. Should be 15.
Well, okay. Whatever it is, they're not meeting. So yeah, go ahead and roll your damage. And yeah, it looks like you don't have any dice on that spell. So
Weird. It used to.
cool. Thanks, roll 20. 26. Okay.
Nice
going-
roll.
Yeah, that's going to be a mighty amount of damage on both of these. But they do not seem immediately dissuaded despite the blast. They kind of you watch as both of them kind of tilt around the bolt and with little disregard or with little regard for where they are landing and still manage to continue moving at speed despite basically moving on 3 legs at that point. And they continue moving forward toward you.
Gotcha.
That's a lot of HP.
Montlarn, you're up.
All right. I think I'm gonna Blade Ward Aeneas.
Okay. Retreat. Cool. Number 18 is gonna keep moving. They're dashing and they're dashing to here. Yep. Okay, Ernest, you're up.
All right, we're gonna shoot at that one with the arrow she knocked
Okay.
right at the start of this encounter. So that's
Oh, all
no
right.
no sneak attack, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
it's an 11 for damage.
Wow.
Well, it's a crit.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So as this thing approaches, you're able to see it's like a shaggy gorilla.
Yeah.
And you as it lopes over one of the wet spots and onto the dry spot you're walking over, you catch it right before it lands, and force it to perhaps reconsider its actions. The other 3, however, don't seem to have really been bothered by that if they noticed it at all. So this one's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's gonna get right in there.
Uh-oh.
And Naya, you're up before the last 2.
Okay, now what did you say these are or look like?
They kind of look like really shaggy gorillas.
Oh, okay. And how big are they?
They're medium size. They're large, hunchbacked, semi-quadrupedal. bestial creatures.
And they can move.
They move. Yeah. I mean, they definitely seem a certain kind of apex as far as the swamp is concerned. And they can absolutely take lightning like champs.
Yeah, I see that. So we're gonna try, let's see, she's gonna move. Gonna move to there, and she's gonna target this one with
But okay. That con save. Oh,
okay.
it clears it. So no damage on the successful save. Yeah, okay.
Yep.
So, yeah, that doesn't seem to bother it at all. Any other plans before the end of the turn?
I can only do one of those, so that's it.
Okay. The other two have the ability to get up here now. So, coming right in, taking the dash. As is this one. So they are full up on you, breath in the face. What is the death going to do?
The death is going to kind of try to get their attention, so fly between them, and of course use the owl flyby to get hit.
Got it.
5, 30, 35, 40, 45, and then the last few was kind of ascending upward, so unless they can jump 25 feet, they're not going to hit them.
Excellent. Okay.
And I suppose trying to like really catch their attention, so would that be friends?
Let's see. That would be the help action. So
Hmm.
basically, you'd be able to have Badath do help on one of these things by distracting it.
Okay.
So
Do I have to
then,
declare which one's getting the help now?
yes, yeah. So it'll be a specific one, and then the next attack on that will have advantage.
I think the which was the one that got hit by the lightning that's adjacent, one just below me?
Correct.
So it would be that one.
Okay. Yeah. So Badath tries to make a point of getting that one's attention before flying up out of the way to get it a little bit distracted and not noticing what you and Montlarn are about to do to it. So now it's your turn.
All right. See what's going to be the right call to here. Going to be 10-foot radius.
Oh, shouldn't Montlarn be on a horse?
Yeah, he would be. You can reconcile that.
There's a horse there.
Yeah, they came on us too fast to charge, so it really wouldn't have made a difference anyway.
I don't know. Okay. Going to shatter. Thank you.
Actually, if that's as far as my horse could have fit realistically, I would have stopped there.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you didn't like attack or anything yet, so
Yeah, as I said, that wouldn't have changed what I did. So
Shape. Want to remake a circle?
square shape and then hold the alt. It's under the information icon.
That's yes. So a shatter right here minus my friend.
Yeah, okay, cool. Cool. All right, let's
Nice.
do conflicts. Now these are not inorganic, so they don't have disadvantage. All right, that was top left, top right, and then bottom right. Wow, nice times. Okay. So top left is going to be taking a nice 10 damage, while the other two are taking 21. Which does outright kill this one.
Nice.
So yeah, it kind of trips, skids, lands face down in the mud and does not move. Speaking of which, would Nimbus like to move?
Doesn't really seem like a safe prospect right now. Gonna try to stay put.
Okay. Then it's Montlaren's turn.
all right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go after the one threatening Nimbus.
All right, now that was the one Badath was helping on, so you have advantage on your first attack.
Right.
Nice.
Need a hit. Very good.
And I'll take that second attack too.
Yeah, let's see it.
Yay.
14 to hit is good. And you are able to just catch the hairs on this thing's chest to wound it enough that it cannot continue fighting.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's me.
All right, so that kicks off for 18. Number 12 is gone. So Aaron, you're up.
So we're going to bonus action disengage and just kind of stride over to this other one that was affected by shatter, and do what we can to mess that up with the short sword. I don't think a 10 is gonna hit.
Oh, no, it will not, unfortunately. Because that was
Bonus
really good
action.
damage.
Move, attack. Yeah, that's my turn.
That was pretty, though.
I suppose I can step away, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, okay. Naya, you're up.
Okay, so lightning was no go. cold was no go.
Well, the cold didn't really hurt it much, but the lightning certainly, it singed him.
Yeah, but it was 26 points of damage, and it barely slowed him down even.
Oh,
So.
yeah, true.
So I'm gonna target this one and do. Let's try some fire.
All right, you will have disadvantage on a ranged attack if you're within 5 feet of an enemy. That's a ranged spell attack, so you'd actually get disadvantage on it.
Well, can I back up then?
You can back up. You'd be at risk of this thing trying to take a swipe at you when you do, but that's up to you to decide if that's worth the risk.
So if I move one square to the left, or my left,
Yeah.
my right,
Yes.
can I do it that way?
Yeah, you can. This creature would have an opportunity to attack you, but it seems a little distracted at the moment, so it doesn't.
Okay.
And then we can just use that attack roll you did.
And did the fire do anything?
Yes.
Okay,
You'll deal your 8 damage.
Okay.
Very good.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Right, this one right here.
These things aren't like regenerating, are they? Would they have done that already?
No, not as far as you can tell.
Okay.
The two on the ground are very much on the ground, and this one right here has been battered quite a bit now. But it's still going to lash out at you. Irenaeus. Yeah. With 2 attacks. Ooh,
neither hit.
Neither of those? Yeah, okay. So that's a shame. And then number 3 here is going to you imagine assess its situation and take count of the numbers of creatures on the field right now, and it will dash in the other direction while howling.
The smarter part of valor.
Nimbus went AFK, so until he's back, does Montlarin want to take a turn?
Sure.
Just keep things moving.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't think we can get him. Not
Think
even.
Well, yeah, but Mounty's got a speed of 6. I was hoping I could actually reach him and attack, but the best I could do is catch up with him by dashing.
Right, because you have to use your action to dash even on a mount, right?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't think I can catch him. All right. In that case, I'm gonna wheel around behind everybody and come back at this one, harassing Aaron. Rambun. And since that's 20 feet, when I attack, I'm gonna try for a trampling charge.
Very cool. All right. Yes, that will hit. Okay. Strength saving throw or be knocked prone. Hey, Nimbus, we skipped your turn a little bit. One of the other ones ran away. You'll get your turn right after this if necessary. Oh, nice strength saving throw, dude. All right, that one's prone.
Which gives me a bonus second attack.
And you'd have advantage because it's prone. So roll that again.
Oh, whoops, wrong one.
Hey,
Whee!
all right, we'll use the first damage because that was the first one you rolled. But either way, that would pummel this creature into the mud, and it will not get up.
Excellent.
Nice. And the other one is further away than
On its way home,
we can
perhaps.
care to chase after.
I'll still take a shot at it.
Okay. It makes a save.
It'll still take 3 damage then.
Does it take half?
Mm-hmm. Because I'm a level 7 evocation.
Okay, cool. It takes half damage.
Just a little something to remember, Spy.
But yeah, after that, after clearing these 4, you think that was the entirety of this pack.
Just kind of before we take off, just turn one of these over and examine it, I guess, to see if it's got any like defining characteristics to mention or if anyone knows what it is.
Yeah. Give me a nature check.
Okay.
Yeah, Naya, could you shapeshift into one of these?
I don't know. Is this considered a monster or a beast or a what, sir?
Not a beast, unfortunately.
Okay, then I can't.
Oh,
Irenaeus, you think not natural creatures either.
Okay. I didn't expect that, but it's nice to have
Yeah,
the confirmation.
if Irenaeus knows what an ape is, I don't know that she would, but if she does, they're
I mean,
they're very
there's
what
been
was
books in the library, right?
yeah.
So maybe. And
They're
in
very
like,
similar
knows the word.
in design to an ape or an ape-like creature, or even like a extremely large, extremely buff sloth.
Did we try and follow the remaining one to its home, or no? We'll just kind of be on the way, right? There wasn't anything notable about these guys, right? Like no special resistance to any.
They seem to be kind of resistant to lightning.
Yeah, you didn't notice too much aside from the fact that they were just generally like tanks as hell in general.
Okay.
right, beefy.
Yeah. I again, I mean, it would be like, trying to shoot cannons at a gorilla. You'd probably stop it eventually.
Right.
Hopefully, it would only take one, because I don't think I can load a cannon that fast.
Maybe cannon was not ideal. It's like bringing a taser to a fight with a gorilla. That's more
Nice.
accurate.
Did we want to how heavy is it?
They're beefy, probably at least 250 pounds each.
Mm. That'd be too big to drag back.
You describe them as unnatural. Are they like shifted, or do you mean like they're summoned creatures?
You think so? Shifted. They're not. They're not local critters. I mean, they're local critters now, but
Right, gotcha.
these aren't like documented
From around here.
creatures. Yeah.
Does it seem like there's
They're
anything...
certainly aggressive.
Yeah. You get the definite sense that they're hunters, right?
Is there any part of them that seems worthwhile to collect? Like, is their skin particularly resilient, or do they have like really gigantic claws that can be used for something or not?
Honestly, if you gave it a wash, you imagine their fur could be pretty nice, actually.
We could
Like
skin them.
soft.
Definitely skin them. Wouldn't necessarily be so sure about eating.
No, but we could carry the pelts on my horse.
Yeah, if you want, we were close to the end of the day anyway, right?
I'm not sure how worth it would be to. I mean, maybe just like a couple of tufts of fur for Soriana, but it seems tedious to try and take a whole pelt off of one of these things that might not even be useful. It kind of just seems like fur, but what do I know?
I likewise admit I don't really see a lot of value in that, but as long as we commit to memory what we saw in their behavior and things like that, so that we can report it back to the expedition, I don't really feel like we need to do much more here.
Where is our gnomish sketch artist?
I suppose we could bring back like a bag or a jar of kind of odd parts for Soriana. Check out, you're right.
Yeah, if that's what you prefer, it wouldn't take long at all to collect a few bits.
All right. All that green 8-bit.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I'll carve a little notch in Bet Mounty's saddle, because I'm pretty sure that's like his second kill, right?
Nice.
All right. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah. Okay. You guys back to the map. We'll stick with this initiative order, but I think it was Irenaeus's turn who moved.
I got the encounter.
Okay. So start again at Irenaeus and roll over to Naya.
So
Turn order is blank for me.
Oh
Yeah,
god,
same.
it's a different map. Yeah, okay, you guys will have to re-roll it.
So are we heading kind of southwest towards the other fort from Van?
Cantum, yeah.
Yeah. All right.
So click tokens and run initiative again.
Yeah, I forgot it doesn't transfer between maps. All right.
Yeah, good place to get your bad roll.
So if we start at me again, I guess.
Yeah, then it's Montlarn's turn this time.
All right.
I wouldn't mind seeing if Nimbus could put together an ice tower at this
Yes.
location?
You could do that here if you want to take some time. That does take a little bit of time just to take note of everything and do the whole
All right,
the
and build the tower.
You do have one more hex to go before camping time as well.
Oh, okay.
That's your choice.
Is it my turn or is it
It's
Montlaren's?
Montlaren's turn.
It's my turn.
Okay.
I'm going to take us that way.
Okay. Bam. And 8 is fine and cool. Should I assume we're getting a radius as usual?
Yep.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. So you're able to kind of get to this point at the edge of these wetlands where you are more on dry land than not, and it's a little bit easier to get around.
Okay.
Or
And I don't.
easier to make camp and stuff.
Okay.
And yeah, you guys are gonna have to handle your food business tonight.
Well, I can go ahead and forage for a bit, see if I can find some berries, and at least do that.
Give it a shot.
What do I do? Nature?
Survival.
Survival. Okay. I guess I
Yeah.
found some.
Yeah, that'll do. You're able to find a handful of berries and use your magic to
Nice.
enchant them into senju beans.
All right, I've ticked off a good berry use on the spell slot.
Oh no, it's a ritual if you cast it this way, so you don't have to use a spell slot. That's the whole point.
Oh, cool.
Because Goodberry is designed to be used daily, basically. But with the
Yep.
long rest system that we use, that doesn't work. So instead of being able to cast it for free with no material components and using a spell slot, turn it
Right.
into a ritual, make it so you have to have fresh berries, make it so the resource cost is the ability to find fresh berries in the wilderness. Then
Okay.
you can cast it for free. So no spell.
Nice.
All right. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
It's not filling, but it gets the job done.
Yep. And I think the idea with good berry is a little bit magical, is that it's supposed to feel really filling, like you had this feast, even though you only ate whatever.
Yeah. Magic calories.
High fructose cranberries.
Right.
And they do heal 1 hit point each.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I
Yeah.
did too.
I don't think
Anybody take any
took
damage? No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
And Naya, I do want to mention that if you ever want to, you can cast Goodberry with a spell slot to just make berries appear. That's
Oh, okay, that's good to know. I think
Yeah,
sometimes the circumstances might be such that, yeah, I need to burn a slot.
yeah. It's just the ritual version. If you wanna do it on the like daily casting level, then you can avoid having to spend the spell slot.
Cool, thank you.
That's the case with any ritual casting spell too, even not ones that I've like tweaked to make fun. But in any case, the night does pass, and it's Naya's turn to move 2 spaces in the morning. So what's the plan today?
Well, I'm kind of curious what's at this area.
Yeah.
To see if there's actually a source of the water, the swamp.
Yeah, me too.
So, I think here
Okay. Give me a hidden player.
Encounter?
Yeah, give me a check. Okay, nothing interesting.
Okay, so we're
with-
completely on dry land.
Yeah, with your investigations in mind, though, you do take note of the occasional need to hop a stream that is traveling across these plains, um, and generally, it seems they go northwest to southeast when you find.
So, if I heard you correctly, you're saying there's multiple small streams that we have to jump over, and they're all seem to be running basically from the northwest to the southeast?
Yeah, this is again. I'd like to reiterate that this is pretty common for you guys. Like traveling, finding a stream in some of these hexes, following it for a little while till it turns away, or in the middle of a hex, finding a small stream that you need to either wade across or maybe take 10 minutes to water walk if you don't feel like getting your feet wet. This is all stuff you guys have been doing for 3 years now. If you see something like the river on the map that goes through Orbis, that is a like 300-foot wide river that
Right.
you need like to you either have to get water walk or you need a raft or you need a bridge. Um, anything else, you know, the redshift zone is pretty abundant, uh, all things considered. So, yeah, water is easy to find.
Okay, so then I guess it produces another question. So here we have reached the far side of this, and there's so far at least nothing obvious as a source. Although we've noted that the water, there are these small streams that are generally running from the northwest to the southeast.
Yeah,
The
it seems
question
like
is,
it's come
is
from
west northwest of here, of where we're standing, is it more mountainous? Is it a higher elevation that would cause that water to run
Oh yeah, I mean
downstream,
you know
downhill?
that the upside down city that Captain Van has found is in the mountains.
Yeah, I mean, if there are enough of those streams, like honestly, runoff from the mountains could totally account for that, right?
It could. And then it would just be like, is that just a low spot in the plain? And so it aggregates there and has
Might
to
be.
rise or fall based on evaporation. I mean, that seems reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there the whole time that we've had sight of the region. So it's not like seasonal, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is interesting because if it's mountain runoff, you would expect it to be, like a spring summer sort of
Yeah.
affair. Uh, yeah, that's actually kind of interesting to me. Like, I wonder if there's a spring or something in that mountain that's sort of like trickling through it, you know?
Right. Exactly. Or if there's enough of those small streams, could they create what's basically a good sized lake?
Over time, I mean, it's obviously not draining. Like that seems like an inevitability eventually.
It is interesting. I would, if it was me, up to me, I would send a research team out here just to track it more.
Yeah, I
Might
agree
be
that
a good source of potable water or something.
right, at a bare minimum, there could be a very interesting water table here.
Yep. Okay, whoever's next,
It's Nimbus
choose
and
where we're
Irenaeus.
going.
All right. And then this is the fourth move.
This is your third one.
Only the third.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then straight down.
Okay, and then Irenaeus, you get the last one. All right. Nice
if
one.
we're kind of still skirting the edge of the swamp for now. Counter check. Wait, does anything happen on the 20?
No.
All right. About an 8.
An 8. 8 again. All right. All right, Ernest, I'm gonna need you to roll for something that happens while you're in camp tonight.
Okay.
Okay. Um you when you wake up in the morning, Ernest, and Ernest is always up very early, as I understand.
Yeah.
Um you step out of the hut. Um you look up, clear day. Um you see uh beneath the clouds directly above you. Um oh, 500, 1,000 feet up. Um give me a nature check.
Okay. I can do that. I don't like where this is going, but I can do that.
Nice roll.
Yeah. Thanks.
The unmistakable sign of a wyvern circling above your party.
Oh no.
Oh no is right.
Um, do we have time to cast another Layman's and just wait it out?
Well, it's just circling for now, and Lehman's it's pretty quick, right? So
No, it's not pretty quick. Let me check.
Right.
is it 10 minutes?
It's a ritual, I think.
10, 20
Uh,
minutes?
it's I've
It
got the
can
wrong
happen.
editing mode on.
It can happen if you use an actual spell slot. I think it can happen in a
So I
minute.
don't have it ready to cast that. So it would take 11.
Okay. Well, if that's what you want to do, 11 minutes. Ernest, you're watching this thing. It is currently circling.
Yeah. She'll make note of it, walk back into the hut, kind of gently rouse everybody, uh, and just make sure everyone knows that there's a wyvern circling our hut. Um, Perhaps if we can go invisible or uh, something, that'd be a way to throw it off these tracks. Otherwise, um, do we just want to wait until it gets bored to until we head out in the morning, or
I think
how?
the last wyvern that we encountered was in the cave with our friends from the other timeline, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah,
handled
yeah.
them
You
pretty
did find
sufficiently.
some wyverns.
Okay.
They were younger ones, though, weren't they?
They were actually parents.
Oh, oh, oh no! Wyverns aren't the worst thing in the world. We can deal with them.
Yeah. It's just not, a guaranteed fight. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Arenaeus, especially with that role, like obviously you've all fought a couple of wyverns at this point.
That's
Even
true.
if it was in a weird time
I
distance.
just know that our typical or our forces from encountering them in the past are reduced.
No.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, but
Didn't
that
we
was
have-
going to happen regardless.
Yeah.
It was a wizard and rogue taking two apparent adults or whatever. That wasn't a very good exchange. I think the four of us versus one is probably a lot more fair.
but
Yeah.
they're pretty smart, but they're still just monsters. Um,
Yeah.
so
Right. So
uh,
if we travel kind of close together, I guess we can and just keep an eye on it. We'll be okay, I guess. Right?
Well,
Yeah,
would
I mean,
would we be sitting ducks?
I don't think so.
now as long as we keep an eye on it, like, if we have to fight it, we'll fight it. But
It's pretty high up, so
Remind
there's
me,
no.
you said this was in the morning or the evening? Because this is the last square we made.
yeah, this is first thing when Arenaeus wakes up.
Okay.
Or takes the morning watch or what have you, but I assume there's not too much watching with the hut. Irenaeus is a very early riser. But yeah, that's the situation as you're getting to the last few minutes of your tiny hut.
So shall we break camp and just kind of march on and keep?
Keep an eye out, stay close together, and if it comes down for us, kill
Just
it.
first it. Yeah.
Since it was in the evening before I put up the bubble, would I be able to get the little radius on the two to the right?
Yes.
Thanks.
Does it make sense to stick close to the water, or are wyvern not the same as fire-breathing dragons with regard to the element of water?
They're not. They are. I forget what they have. Irenaeus, you know that their main feature is that they have a poison tail.
Okay. Yeah, they're all right. Yeah, the water would help in that case. Uh,
Well, we're going the same way regardless, unless you don't want to go to Kenton because you don't want wyvern spotting.
I think that even if it did, we'd be able to uh, handle any sort of trouble it gave us once we.
yeah, I mean, isn't Van at Canton right now?
Yeah, that's
Van is actually at Fort Van at the moment still.
Ah, got it.
But you imagine that expeditionist Faliel, who is currently at Cantum, would be delighted for you to bring a wyvern to meet her.
I guess the worry for me is what the odds are that this wyvern is in the employ or otherwise the Dragon King
That was what I was worried about.
spotting right now.
Oh, interesting. I never really thought of, like, I mean, Mont Lauren wouldn't know, but I never really thought of wyverns as that kind of creature.
I wouldn't think Fomorians are either, but here we are. So I guess that's the one thing I would be a little concerned with. Not so much it coming to attack, actually being a scout trying to find where we've got our base.
Well, I mean, if we want to provoke it, we could probably bring it down. I mean, the trick is that none of us, well, most of us don't fly.
You don't want to be picked up something like that either. If it gets
Right. Yeah, and you really don't want to be stung. I actually think I'm kind of okay, but I think the rest of you would not be.
Well, we would cross that bridge when we get to it. I'll put this on now, just preempt in case we go.
Cool.
What do I need to know about fighting a wyvern?
Don't get hit by the tail. Don't get picked up and dropped.
Okay, sounds like a
Or
plan.
carried away.
They got claws and teeth that they'll attack with at the same time. If I remember correctly.
Right. I mean, it might have been because we were at their nest, but they were also like hella aggressive.
Yeah. Yeah. You were.
Can I
like, 10 feet
shapeshift?
from their eggs?
If I'm carried?
Yeah, you can. So like,
What I thought,
if you
okay.
turned into, I mean, you'd still take a ton ass of fall damage unless you shapeshifted into something immune to that. I don't think you can fly yet, can you?
No.
Yeah, can you be like a sparrow or something, slip out of its talons? Yeah.
No, but I was thinking like spider.
Then you could parachute.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
I
I was
guess.
thinking.
You're like one level away from being able to fly. Actually.
I know, but I can't fly yet, so
Yeah.
Or like a gliding squirrel or something.
I
A
don't think
sugar
I've
glider, that's
I've
great.
seen one of those.
Also, it sounds like the plan is keep moving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's my. So
And then is it to Canton now?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely our destination. We haven't actually felt the tolling of the redshift yet. So if we wanted to reveal a couple more hexes, we could probably get away with it. But
Oh,
I mean,
how high up do you think we can get in the mountains? And we'd be able to get a good perspective on the south west side. That would hopefully reveal the whole area.
That is
Try to get
probably
around.
something the people who are currently there would be able to help you with.
All right.
They haven't when you last spoke a few days ago, they had not had the time to do that yet. But there were definitely discussions about it.
Make sure that you've got Bedath tethered or safe or something.
Probably just be staying.
Okay. Yeah, it just seems like that could be a flying target.
right? You don't want to be a snack.
Right.
All right. So it'll take you a day to get to Canton proper, and I'm guessing you're gonna want to stop there.
At least temporarily.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get a rest and some supplies and
Okay. You. So you keep going. You stick together. After a couple of hours of following you, the wyvern eventually peels off and just flies off to the east.
Flies off to the what direction?
East.
was it
Okay.
ever really apparent that he was spying on us or following us, or was he just kind of lazily flying around?
If you've seen a hawk hunting before, then hell yeah, it was clearly following you.
Okay.
It was, you imagine there were some calculations going on about
Okay.
the value of your group, and whether it was worth descending. And evidently it decided the answer was no.
More for us. Okay.
And by sunset, you're able to arrive at Keep Canton. Now, this location is as you've been told, and you have been sort of able to see through Arisa's obelisk. Um, it's most of it is the remains of an amphitheater, um, like a semicircle built into the base of the mountain with the wall at the back and the layered steps descending into that sort of pit. And it's not the most secure thing in the world to start out with, but the expeditionists here have started erecting tents and some basic barricades and whatnot. They've sort of huddled themselves up against this wall, and it's it's still in the first couple weeks of getting put together, but they're doing what they do, and the obelisk is in the center as always. You're greeted by um, the two people who are kind of running the show here right now, expeditionists Faliel and Shashret, the immensely willowy uh, elf, and her lizard folk companion.
Oh yeah, in them. Oh, cool.
Are they happy to see us?
Oh yeah, I mean they haven't seen you guys in like a year at this point. Um,
Okay, well, hopefully.
Faliel is kind of huggy. Um, she's also like taller than all of you, so um, that's like a collapsing building.
That's saying something, because Naya's 6 foot tall.
And Arenas is a Goliath, yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
Um, but yeah, she's basically, oh, I know we've been talking over the obelisks now and then, but wow, it's good to see you all in person again and alive and healthy.
Yeah, we've mostly been both of those.
I heard
Glad to
about
say.
your fights with the giant, and I'm really jealous, and I would like to participate the next time you fight a giant.
Well, hopefully you won't be stuck on the expedition through the back route. That way, you'll actually be in position to fight the back again.
Well,
Nice
I
to
did
have.
get to smash a harpy nest here when we found it, so that wasn't so bad.
Sounds interesting. Were they actually harpies, or were they just kind of simple?
Uh, that's what Shotrak called them. He
All right.
says, wing, singing winged creatures. Same name you'd call them otherwise. Different enough. Everything in here is.
Then. Well, that sounds like you got a little bit of fun in it. Both of you been staying on your feet through all of this?
Yes, it's been a lot of building again, building up, searching new areas, finding uh, abandoned places haunted by twisted things, or just traversing the wilderness as usual. Um, we're expecting a couple squads back any day now. Uh, hopefully before the Redshift begins.
Have
We have a few people here exploring out in between building our fortifications.
They're somewhat of a minimum group size because I wonder anybody who's out there solo. We kind of saw a wyvern on the way here. Is that a common sort of thing to see in the sky in this area?
Faliel says, I thought I saw one a couple weeks ago, but it wasn't, anywhere close to us, so I didn't, I wasn't sure. So did you get a good look at it?
Yeah, we got to spot it pretty well. Irenaeus got the first look and pretty well able to confirm. We've run into them, but not at that, I suppose. Much closer up.
Well, if there's one living nearby, what do you think is what's good wyvern bait?
Um,
Cows.
yeah, probably something we can easily snatch up.
All right, shot for it. Well, we gotta ask Van for a cow.
Yep, adventurers.
What was the direction that you saw it in relative to here?
I think I saw it while we were on the road, between here and Fan Spot. So north.
Did it, when it broke off, did it go off to the east?
Yes. Yeah, it went to the east.
Oh no, I was asking them.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Think so.
I don't really remember. Maybe it went. I think it was going north at the time.
That
It was far away. I thought it might have been a big bird.
gotcha. That makes
Couldn't
me
really tell.
wonder even more if wyvern are one of the dragon siblings minions. Boy,
Okay, so we get a cow. We trap it
Well-
instead of kill it. We interrogate it.
Is it possible that a wyvern is actually one of the princes?
I don't think they're sentient like that, right?
Well, but I mean, could that happen? I mean, we've already seen of quite a variety of what some of the princes look like, and none of them look alike. Is it possible that the Dragon King had a wyvern significant other?
Ernest, you know that wyverns are not people, which is pertinent, maybe.
Yeah. They don't really have the sentience to that we would consider what's the word I'm looking for? Capable of leadership.
yeah. No, thinking about it, I don't think it would be quite like that. It, Morio had Mephit, Zormos, Drala, Salamanders, and Fomorian. Not big old giants like he was. Fomorian. I don't think we can really associate a specific dragon or draconic or not creature, someone who looks like whoever it is that control any wyvern, should that actually be what's going on. Probably gonna that looks like a person of some race cut with a fire dragon, somewhere north or east playing.
So what you're saying, Polyelf says, is that it probably can't talk, and interrogating it wouldn't do anything.
Well, I mean, unless there's a way to force language on it, but who here necessarily has the mean. Alternatively, maybe some sort of psychic ability to read their mind, but again, I don't. Maybe Van's got something, but
Well, I can speak and talk to animals.
I don't
So,
think it's an
but
animal.
well, that's the thing. Is it a monster? Is it a beast? Is it an animal? Is it a what
Yeah,
is it?
there are ranges of beasts to monstrosities to other types of things. Um, depends on depends on the creature, depends on the spell, really.
Gotcha. Well, maybe just keeping eyes on where they come from and where they go, and if we kind of get a definitive idea where they might be flying out from, paving way there and paying them a visit. I don't necessarily feel like walking into a den thing Dragon Prince kid is necessarily the greatest idea, but if we bring ample force, Captain Van, a few other heavy hitters, we'll probably be able.
Well, I know what we're doing next week. Wyvern hunt. That sounds like fun. We can at least look around the local area. I mean, obviously we have to make sure things are safe, but also um I can fight a wyvern.
Yeah,
Joshua says, and
Yeah.
should we take one down, there's always use for the for a wyvern's poison. So it
Are they also do their scales have like a flame resistance quality as well? Or is that something else I'm thinking of?
uh not so much to my knowledge.
Okay.
You may be able to. I know uh some markets take wyvern leather for a pretty bit of gold, but uh that's more for the sort of person who wishes to spend 200 gold on a leather chest piece to say it's made of a wyvern. Uh,
Fools, yeah, we got words for those. Um, but no, because we've encountered some creatures in the past that offer such material benefits upon defeat. Um,
I can see that.
but if it's just the poison
I
venom.
mean, you all are wearing your shiny red suits all the time. Right?
Wait, are we?
Oh yeah, I am at least.
Do
it's
You at
kind of
least
in
have
the middle
shiny
of
red
clothing
suits.
layers for me.
Right. Like they're definitely like under layers that you can wear.
Oh,
But
the fire resistant common clothes. Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
It took me a moment to find those. I'm like, I don't think I've got. But
Oh yeah, you all do. Um, I mean, if you've got like open straps or exposed skin anywhere, like I mean, these things are pretty long sleeve, long pant, so they definitely be visible all the time, unless you're covered up.
All right.
Gotcha. So I suppose before the redshift hits, or even if it does, we'd still have time. I want to venture to the mountain, the southwest, get up to a high vantage point, and fill in our for as much as possible can up there, then come back same day.
Polio says, well, we had a team going up that way, but we could probably meet them there, or on the way back, or on once they get back here. I mean, no reason we can't go up there too, I suppose.
Well, how high can
nobody
any
else,
of them get? Because I can get an extra 100 feet looking out of the eyes of hell.
nobody else here guarding the obelisk, but I think that's probably okay for half a day.
All right. And of course, when we come back to camp here for the redshift, I think I can probably do a lot of mending on that wall over there. Get things in a little more sturdy shape.
Will be good. So what we'll do is, because this is gonna take a really long time, I will bring you guys here between sessions, and
Oh, okay.
next session, I'll give you all of that information.
Cool.
Right on, man.
And after that, yeah, you'll be able to spend your redshift at Keep Canton with all of the returning expeditionists. Obviously, you have contact with the rest of the bases through the Obelisk network at the moment. And it sounds like things are getting pretty busy at RSS Tower already. Additionally, well, that's more relevant for Alvis Tower, so we'll probably wait till next time when he's back to hear news from Orvis. But stuff will be happening, and people are moving all around. So yeah, we'll get to that next time. But for today, you guys are gonna get 500 XP apiece,
All right.
Cool.
and that'll be it.
Cool.
Oh, that's for the session. Sounds good.
Thank
Thanks
you for joining, everyone.
hosting. Everybody, thanks for coming.
I'll update the calendar for real this time. But I think the plan is on the usual schedule. We're going to be off next week, on the week after that.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Awesome, man. Again, thanks for the session, dude.
Yeah, thank you for joining, everybody.
Cool. All right. Everyone in the audience, lurkers, I'll see you later.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.